3 years later, this character study gave Henry a base from which to write his masterful The Drover's Wife, about a bushwoman and her 4 children left alone for months while her husband was up country droving. Readers assume that Henry's story is set up the back of Burke. It was up the back of Gulgong.
The 2-roomed house is built of round timber slabs and stringy bark, and floored with split slabs. A big bar kitchen standing at one end is larger than the house itself, veranda included. Bush all around, bush with no horizon, for the country is flat, no ranges in the distance. The bush consists of stunted, rotten native apple trees, no undergrowth, nothing to relieve the eye save the darker green of a few she oaks, which are sighing above the narrow, almost waterless creek. 19 miles to the nearest sign of civilization, a shanty on the main road. The drover and ex-squatter is away with his sheep. His wife and children are left here alone.
This became the core of their relationship. Henry literally became his father's mate.
Post-mortem him, they try him. They say he was insane, but it very often happens that he lately got the sack, and his onward move was owing to the shame of going back. Go 7 years sober and the city proud for me. My window sill is level with the faces in the street drifting by. Drifting fast. Because I have to sorrow in a land so young and fair. See upon those faces stand the marks of wanting care. I look for vain traces for fresh and fair and sweet. Sour sunken faces that are drifting apart. Drifting apart. And the hours of back and feet slowly dragged away. Sickly yellow gaslights rise to mock the going day. Flowing past my window like a fly in its retreat. When I see the palace waiting in the street.
And yearly, on the Queen's birthday, they praise her and rejoice. And even far across the sea is heard the toadies' voice. They gammon Christianity, they go to church and pray and thrust her in the sight of God, an idol of today. And she is praised and worshipped more than God has ever been. That ordinary woman whom the English call the Queen, whom the English call the Queen, whom the English call the Queen. That selfish, callous woman whom the English call the Queen, whom the English call the Queen, whom the English call the Queen.
That selfish, callous woman whom the English call the Queen.
That was a breakthrough poem. It was like a hit record today. And it described the lot of an itinerant worker from the viewpoint of a woman left behind, holding the household together without him. It was a hit.
And it's gone to cattle now, it's drive the red marauder. And he's gone with cattle now, across the Queensland border. He's left us in dejection now, our hearts with him are roving. It's done this election now, since Andy went a-droving. Who shall wear a cheerful face when things are slackest? And who shall wear so round the place when fortune shines its blackest? Oh, who shall cheat the squatter now when he comes round a snarling? It's done this election now, since Andy crossed the Darling. So you rode from the range where your brother selects through the ghostly grey bush in the dawn. You rode slowly at first, lest the heart should suspect that you were glad to be gone. You had scarcely the courage to glance back at her by the fading from view. And you breathe with relief as you rounded the spur, for the world was a wide world to you, wide world to you. Oh, the world is new and a wide world to you, but the world to your sweetheart is shut. For a change never comes to the lonely bush girl, from the stockyard, the bush and the hut. And the only relief from the dawn that she feels is when ridges go soft and dim, and away in the dust to the slit where she feels to dream of past visions with him.
Called the man a senseless fool, a blockhead or an arse, who dare to say he saw the ghost of Mount Victoria pass. I tramped it as far as Hartley Vale, though tired at the start, but coming back I got a lift in Johnny Jones's cart.
'Twas winter on the mountains then, the air was rather chill, and so we stopped beside the inn that stands below the hill. A fire was burning in the bar, and Johnny thought a glass would give the tired horse a spell and help us up the pass.
Then Jimmy Bent came riding up, a tidy chap was due. He shouted twice, and so of course we had to drink with him. And when at last we said goodnight, he bet a vulgar quid that we would see the ghost in black. And sure enough, we did.
She'll cross the moonlit road in haste and vanish down the track. Her long black hair hangs to her waist, and she is dressed.
You can't hunt, you can't fight, you don't even come home at night. You're the most pointless dog that I've ever seen. You trip me over while I'm making tea. You treat my leg like your favorite tree. You're as stupid as any dog that's ever been. You lie in the sun at the height of summer. Could you possibly be any dumber? You like to howl, you like to beg when you're not making love to my leg. You're the most annoying dog that I've ever known. When I throw a stick for you, you forget what it is that you're supposed to do. I wouldn't imagine a less intelligent hound. I tell you to sit and you stand instead.
Yes, Henry Lawson was here. For my ways are strange ways, and new ways, and old ways, and deep ways, and steep ways, and highways, and low. I'm at home and at ease, on a track that I know not, and restless and lost on a road that I know.